In 2017, Thomas Mason, a 21-year-old technician from Darwin, faced a life or death situation in one of the most remote and unforgiving landscapes on Earth, the Australian Outback. After a car accident in one of Australia's most remote regions, Thomas embarked on a 140-kilometre journey by foot through the unforgiving outback, relying on sheer determination and survival instincts to stay alive. Thomas was assigned to a remote community near the Northern Territory and South Australia border. After completing his work, he began his journey back, driving along a secluded track near Yulara. As Thomas navigated the desolate road, a herd of wild camels suddenly appeared in his path. Swerving to avoid them, his vehicle rolled violently and came to a stop, leaving him stranded in the middle of nowhere. Though he emerged unharmed from the crash, his situation was dire. Thomas found himself stranded without water, food, or means of communication in one of Australia's most inhospitable environments. With no phone reception and no one expecting to hear from him for another 24 hours, Thomas faced a critical decision: stay with the wrecked vehicle or seek help on foot. Understanding the severity of his situation, he chose to walk towards the nearest highway, approximately 120 kilometres away, hoping to find assistance. I knew I was either going to be out there and die or get back to the highway and see somebody, he later recounted. Armed with nothing but a few clothes and a torch, he set off on foot. The scorching daytime temperatures were rivaled by the freezing cold nights, each step testing his physical and mental strength. Despite the challenges, he pressed on, driven by the instinct to survive. As the hours turned into days, Thomas's body began to fail. As dehydration set in, his situation became increasingly dire. He stumbled upon a water tank and a bottle of water on the side of the road, but it was insufficient to sustain him. In a desperate bid to stay alive, he resorted to drinking his own urine. He later said, "It was just enough to moisten my mouth. I had to do it a couple of times. It was not very nice." There were about 3 or 4 times on the dirt road that I was ready to stop and give up completely, he admitted. By Friday morning, Thomas's parents, Gary and Debbie, realised that something was wrong. Their son was due to fly back to Darwin, but had not checked in. Concerned, they contacted authorities and a search was launched for their missing son. After enduring 60 hours in the outback and covering approximately 140 kilometres on foot, Thomas reached the Lassiter Highway near Yulara on Friday night. Exhausted and dehydrated, he attempted to flag down passing vehicles. After several unsuccessful tries, a police car involved in the search effort stopped and rescued him. Thomas was treated for exposure and dehydration, but was otherwise in remarkably good spirits. Reflecting on his ordeal, Thomas expressed profound relief and gratitude. "I couldn't imagine being out here another night if they didn't come and find me," he said. Thomas Mason's story is a remarkable account of survival in one of the world's most challenging environments. His ordeal highlights the unpredictability of the Australian outback and the extraordinary lengths to which individuals can go when faced with life-threatening circumstances.